From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, April 20th, 2016. Silver is trading at $17.05 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,248 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $438. Antiwar.com reports, with the Iraqi military's own offensive around Mosul almost immediately stalling, U.S. hopes to eventually see the city recovered from the Islamic State are resting more heavily on the idea that the Kurdish Peshmerga will succeed where Iraq's military has failed. That's not coming cheap. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter revealed on Tuesday that as part of the latest U.S. escalation in Iraq, $415 million in cash has been set aside for certain Kurdish Peshmerga units to ensure that those groups keep fighting against the Islamic State. Though the Kurdistan regional government clearly has some interest in seeing the Islamic State expelled from the area around Mosul, their interests are likely more directly on defending their own territory, including not insignificant territorial gains they've made during the war, including the oil-rich city of Kirkuk. Instead of leaving the Peshmerga to its own already subsidized devices, the Pentagon seems to have decided that overt bribery is in order to make sure the Peshmerga's involvement in the fight is centered on offensives where the U.S. wants them. If you're fed up with the government running every aspect of your life, but you're not listening to the Lava Flow podcast yet, what's wrong with you? Go right now to thelavaflow.com/listen. The Lava Flow podcast, channeling the flow of information to the libertarian, anarcho-capitalist, voluntarist, and agorist community. Subscribe today using any podcatcher at thelavaflow.com/listen, or just go back to sucking up to the government. The Lava Flow podcast, striking the root every episode. UPI reports Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders toured into New York State on Tuesday for its closed primary system, saying it has disenfranchised 3 million residents who are registered independents there. New York is among several states that do not allow outsiders to participate in party primaries. By rule, New Yorkers who were not registered members of the Republican or Democratic parties in October, 6 months ago, and well before anyone could have predicted the tight campaigns, particularly on the Republican side, were not permitted to vote on Tuesday. Independents are allowed to petition a judge and sign an affidavit in order to obtain a ballot, but few were expected to do so. Sanders said, "Today, 3 million people in the state of New York who are independents have lost their right to vote in the Democratic or Republican primary. That's wrong." Sanders has performed better in open primary states where independents, a significant portion of his political base, are allowed to vote. In the New York primaries on Tuesday, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton won in landslides. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Michigan's Attorney General will announce criminal charges on Wednesday connected to the investigation into dangerous levels of lead in Flint's drinking water, according to the Detroit Free Press. The newspaper said that among those who will be charged by the Attorney General is a Flint city official who signed a document saying the homes Flint used to test tap water under federal guidelines all had lead service lines. Investigators allege the statement was false. The newspaper cited 3 sources familiar with the investigation for its story. Flint, a city of about 100,000 people, was under control of a state-appointed emergency manager in 2014 when it switched its source of water from Detroit's municipal system to the Flint River to save money. The river water was more corrosive than the Detroit supply and caused more lead to leach from its aging pipes. Lead can be toxic, and children are especially vulnerable. The move has provoked a national controversy and prompted lawsuits by parents who say their children are showing dangerously high levels of lead in their blood. UPI adds Michigan Governor Rick Snyder says Flint tap water is safe and he'll drink it for a month to demonstrate his confidence. Snyder and his First Lady, who live in Lansing, have collected a small supply of filtered tap water from their visits to Flint and will use it to drink and cook with. As the supply dwindles, they'll collect more. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.